In this video, we spoke with several new teachers to check in and hear their thoughts on their first few weeks of teaching. This summer, we launched the J.W. Pepper New Music Teacher Club. Our goal is to connect with first-year music teachers, welcome them to Pepper, and point them to specialized resources that address their unique situations and challenges. And just a heads up, if you're a new music teacher or you know a new music teacher, our page is a great place for articles, videos, product lists, and more. Check it out and sign up for updates at jwpepper.com/newteacher. Now, we won't take up any more of your time. Let's get into the interviews and meet some of our new teachers. If you could go back to your first week and do something differently, what do you think it would be?
Absolutely, without a doubt, I would tell myself in the first week to focus on making connections first before trying to be the best teacher in the world first.
I didn't know where my students were going to be at when I got here, and I think that I might have underestimated their abilities a lot. I figured that COVID would have a greater effect on, what level we would be playing at. Kids are really resilient, and they were excited to get back into it.
Be more adamant about going over rules and procedures on the first day. I wanted it to be a fun environment. I wanted to play games. I wanted to do all that kind of stuff. I went over rules, but I think I should have taken a little bit more time to practice those rules instead of just telling them the rules.
I had no idea what I was walking into, and I think I would have done a little more homework first.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's an eye-opener.
If I could do anything differently, it'd probably be ask more questions to my admin. Our first week was mostly teacher days, and there are certain things I was like, do they want that from me now? Do they want that from me later? So I would have asked more questions to my admin.
It's my first year teaching, and I'm coming in after, a teacher who had been here for 34 years. I really do think the biggest thing is I would have just taken more time to just sit back and get to know students before trying to delve into what I wanted to accomplish.
What is the biggest challenge you've faced?
Everything you do won't be perfect, but you have to make sure the things that you know are the most important, that you do those well. And there are certain things that, I'm not saying you skate, but there are things you have to just make sure that you do to a level that it's going to be fine and satisfactory.
Came into a new district as a new teacher and really needed to find, who was supportive of the program that I was building and who was going to help me to get the numbers up, and finding those connections with the guidance department and the front office and the secretaries, the janitors who set up and tear down our concerts, and making those important connections, especially coming out of the pandemic, was really important because all of those people play a key role in what I do and in how successful our program is.
My beloved 8th graders, who I have come to love so much, juggling the fact that they can still love their old teacher just as much as they now love their new teacher. Like, they can still hold a place for their old director and also hold a place for me. It's not one or the other at all.
You're juggling all these competing priorities all the time. What are some of your favorite time management strategies?
For me personally, I've already planned for my Thursday and Friday this week, and I did that Tuesday morning because I had some time. I find if I'm in the classroom, my favorite time management skills are just my disciplinary skills. I have my class do certain things at certain times.
5-minute blocks of time to do certain things. So for me, my 5-minute block is really helpful for cleaning my classroom. You can get a lot accomplished in 5 minutes if you close your door, you are in silence, you set a timer. I set a timer on my Promethean board, and I'm like, okay, in these 5 minutes, I have to clean my room as best as I can. And you'd be surprised how much you can do in 5 minutes if you that's all you're doing. I'm cleaning my room, nothing else.
As far as time management is concerned, I want to identify what are my glass balls and what are my rubber balls. So what am I allowed to leave and what can I drop and it'll be fine, I'll bounce back. But then what are the things that's okay, I absolutely must do this.
What surprised you about teaching?
How quickly I would acclimate to the school and the district that I was working in, and how quickly I would create close relationships with my coworkers and with the students as well. That's been a really nice bonus for me.
The depth that we get from our students has surprised me. Being in college for years, you get kind of removed from what it is to be, a teenager and be in high school and all that. But just how smart and how intellectual a lot of the students are, because I don't remember being that smart in high school.
A lot of the business side of education that a lot of people don't think about. There's a lot of different roles that I didn't necessarily think that I would be feeling quite as much. I thought my job was to come in here and teach music. And it is. That's just one of my roles. I have a bunch of different roles that I also fill.
I was shocked by the amount of prep work I was doing, how each choir class is different and how there are subtle little nuances of each class that have to be addressed very differently. Even though maybe you're teaching the same song, it has to be approached in a different way. And I wasn't really prepared for that, to be honest.
What achievement are you most proud of?
This was the first year I was able to get my students back competing at the state level for jazz and other things like that. And we were able to earn 2 bronze medals, which hadn't happened in a few years pre-COVID. So just even getting that recognition for the kids and earning a couple of solo awards was a huge moment for me, an aha moment for me, that what I'm doing really matters and that the kids can see that, and now the community can see that as well.
I actually had a student, and he did not speak any English. He only spoke Spanish. Every time the little kids walk into my room, we sing a welcome song. And so I said, you know what, kindergarten, we're going to try to learn this song in Spanish. And so I translated it. My little kindergartners, they're still learning how to speak some English. I taught my kindergartners, and today was their last day singing it. Seeing that student's particular face, not only hearing me sing in Spanish, but also to hear his classmates sing in Spanish. Those are the words that we were singing, and those are the words he used to make friends. My students were learning those words that they could use in turn with him. I think that is like my biggest accomplishment.
One of my colleagues at like my sister middle school, she was so worried about like the repertoire that she was picking, their costumes that they were wearing, and like all of these little details. And she told me, AJ, it's not about any of that. The students are going to remember singing with their friends and feeling good in that classroom with you. As long as you're focused on the students having a good time and you having a good time, that's literally all that matters.
A huge thank you to all the new music teachers who joined us for this video. I had so much fun getting to know these educators. It was really uplifting and inspiring to hear their stories. Being a new teacher can be tough. There are so many challenges that you have to deal with, some that you may never have expected. Hopefully, this video gave you some insights that will help you this year and for years to come. If you know any other new teachers who might benefit from what these teachers had to say, make sure to send this video their way. What other types of videos would you like to see from us? Make sure to leave a comment down below, like this video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the new content we have coming out at JW Pepper.